Most unpredictable speedway on earth. Fox Sports welcomes you to the Geico 500. His name's not on the deed, but Dale Earnhardt Jr. owns this place. 6 victories at Talladega, including a record 4 in a row. He was known as the Pied Piper because everybody wanted to follow him in hopes of getting to victory lane. Now, he is still NBC Sports lead analyst, but he's on loan, and we're thrilled to have him. Welcome to the booth at Talladega. You've had quite a weekend roaming around here, but let's take a look at this car and what we know. And all we know is Daytona, where Chevy swept the first 4 spots in qualifying, led only 2 laps in the race. Toyota ran well, but a Ford was first on race day Thursday and Sunday. Here we come, and Toyota's at the top of the board in qualifying. The Fords are nowhere. The Chevys are in the middle. It's all topsy-turvy. What do you expect?
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see just how this race plays out. The way cars qualify and the way they race is a little bit different. We saw that in the 500, like you mentioned. What have the Chevrolets done? What have they learned from the 500 to try to fix some of those issues of pushing and drafting and tandem drafting? What have the Fords done to try to remain strong? We saw the qualifying efforts of the Toyotas really fast. Does that mean that they're going to have fast race cars? We'll have to wait and see. They really did work well together in the Daytona 500, but they don't have the numbers. They got swept up in wrecks, and Ford took over. Right,
only 6 Toyotas. Now, back to Daytona. And the idea of give and take, as in the push. When is enough and when is too much has happened to rookie Harrison Burton. You got to be able to give a push. You got to be able to take a push. There's Ricky Stenhouse going for a wild ride. It was a wild race.
Yeah, the big concerns is how these cars match up, how the Chevrolets push, how they can be pushed, how the Toyotas match up. The Fords seem to be the ones that can push the best and take a push the best. We also saw some great pushing and tandem drafting from the Toyotas. The Chevrolets, not so much. I actually drove one in a test for Hendrick in January. Really uncomfortable being the guy pushing and being the guy getting pushed. What have they done to get that better?
Well, let's hope they've done enough. Let's go to our crew chief, Larry McReynolds, who had a great day yesterday, got back on the pit box, won the pole for the Xfinity race, and finished within a car length of the winner. Congrats.
Yeah, thank you, Mike. It was such an honor to be there. Richard Childress racing the 3-car with Jeffrey Earnhardt. But even though this was an Xfinity Series race, I learned a lot yesterday. And I know today is 500 miles, 188 laps. But what my takeaway was, track position is absolutely king. That will pay dividends throughout this entire race. And that leads me to our Verizon race strategy. The elements are pretty much the stages, 60, 60, and 68. The fuel window is 38 to 42 laps. Now, my thought will be these teams will run each stage as long as they can on fuel. You have to pit as a group. Don't be surprised if someone tries to get off strategy and maybe the minute their window opens in a stage, they'll pit, Mike, especially in that final stage, trying to get that track position to the checkered flag.
Poor Larry spent 60 laps yesterday trying to get his car back up into a position to win. Here's the Geico starting grid for today's race. Christopher Bell has his 3rd career pole, or second pole of the season, and Martin Truex Jr., 2 Toyotas on the front row, one looking for his first win at Talladega.
Yeah, let's talk to Christopher if we can. Christopher Bell, Dale Jr. in the Fox booth. You got us?
Yes, sir.
Hey, buddy, we know you had a fast car in qualifying. That thing was bouncing around the racetrack, though. You still got some of that in there? You dial some of that out? What kind of race car do you think you got?
Yeah, I have no clue. I hope it rides a little smoother than it did in qualifying, that's for sure. But, you know, at Daytona and Atlanta, the 2 super speedway samples that we've had so far, handling has been a non-factor for us. So, got all the faith in the world that this DeWalt number 20 Camry is going to drive really good, and we know it's got speed.
All right, you're at the kind of around the bubble or the cut line for the playoffs. How do you run this first 2 stages for points?
Yeah, I mean, obviously getting some stage points would be really big, but at Daytona, I didn't even make it to stage 1 before I crashed. So getting stage points is really important, but even more important is being there at the end.
All right, Christopher, thanks for talking to us today, and good luck in the race.
Thank you.
All right, let's double dip on the front row, Junior.
All right, Martin Truex Jr., Dale Jr. in the Fox booth. You got us, buddy?
Yeah, bud, I got you.
Man, you know, everybody's talking about it every time we come to these plate race tracks. You've never won here, but you did win both stages in the Daytona 500, man. That's got to make you feel a little bit better about your chances today.
Yeah, it really does. Our car was really fast back there in Daytona. And, you know, like you said, one of the first few stages, and had some trouble to pits and got in the back and got wrecked. So, you know, hopefully today we can be fast enough to keep this fast pro Toyota up here in the front and just do all the little things right, make no mistakes, keep that track position. And, of course, you always need a little bit of luck to not be around the crashes.
Well, you got your teammate on the front row with you, so tell us what the plan is when the green flag drops.
Plan is to try to get in line here, log some laps, and feel it out and see what we got. So no idea really, you know, if handling's going to come into play much today. We're not sure. So just feel all that out, take care of that stuff, and go racing. Hopefully be around again. I think is going to be the key.
All right, Martin, thanks for talking to us today. Good luck in the race, bud.
Thanks, pal.
Mid 80 degrees and a light cloud cover, and there is our trifecta on pit road. Let's begin with Jamie Little.
Yes, Mike, it is a beautiful day. And you know, the last time we raced here at Talladega, it was the 23 of Bubba Wallace who went to victory lane. It was the first time in his career. Well, his interim crew chief, Dave Rogers, told me he expects to run up front today. Why? Because his driver has a knack for this style of racing. He knows when to push, he knows when to wait it out, and he knows when to be patient. He finished second at the Daytona 500. He's hoping he's one spot better here today at Talladega. Vince Welch.
Well, Jamie, it's been a tough start to the season for Ricky Stenhouse Jr. Just one top 20 finish. That places him deep in the points and makes it necessary, in all likelihood, to win a race if he's to make the playoffs. His team realizes that, and they circled today as the day they need to win. That's a lot of pressure coming into Talladega. But I talked to Stenhouse before he got in the car. He loves this style of racing. He's won here before. He embraces the challenge and the chaos. He starts mid-pack, but don't expect the 47 to stay there long. Regan Smith.
Vince, every time that we come to Talladega or Daytona and Speedway race, one of the guys you have to watch is Ryan Blaney. In fact, 2 of the last 5 Talladega races, he has been the winner. Daytona 500 earlier this year, finished 4th. A big part of that is communication with he and spotter Josh Williams. They've got it dialed in just right. They work as one team, as one unit. The other thing that they said they're looking for today on this car is the fact that it can take a push as good as any car in the field. They worked on that a little bit since Daytona. Feel like when it gets to the end of those races, this car can take a push better than anybody else to get them to the front.
And that could be key. Thanks, Regan. You know, the last time I saw Clint Boyer running this fast, he was chasing Jeff Gordon. Remember that?
He's trying to get up to this booth. Man, we're waiting on him. He's lost. Looks like he doesn't know where he's going. They changed the infield around a little bit.
Well, he had a little speed on the boulevard the other night, I'm told.
What is he doing?
Out for a ride. No, that's the exit.
He's heading out the tunnel.
Well, I guess when we see him, we'll see him, you know. Let's hope it's soon. Here's today's Geico race analysis for Talladega Superspeedway. 60, 60, and 68 laps are the stage lengths. They are pretty evenly split. 188 laps total. Lap 94 would be a complete race, but there's no rain in the forecast. 55 miles an hour down pit road, and the fuel window 38 to 42 laps. Daniel Hemrick makes his 4th start of the season here.
Appreciate you. Hope you enjoy the show. Welcome to the sport. Matt, Chris, every time I was strapped in this cup car, say thank you. Just one more time. I never thought I'd never get a chance to do it again. So thank you guys. Love y'all. Thanks for letting me be the guy for you.
The Xfinity Series champion racing there and running a partial schedule here in the number 16. We're going to come green this time. And throughout all the pre-race and all the driver interviews, the most oft-heard phrase has been track position, followed by take a push.
Yeah, track position is important. Even though you can't kind of move forward and back in the field quickly with the draft, track position takes all that work out of it. You don't have to work so hard if you can keep that track position, stay up front. You can do that on pit road. Seeing all the in-car cameras that we have here today, 10 in-car cameras. This new next-gen car provides us with a lot of opportunities to show you so many great shots. Chase Briscoe, who won a dirt race just across the street at the short track last night.
He rolls off 17th. As we work our way forward, Brad Keselowski.
He's going to be one of the guys fun to watch. He'll be racing hard, trying to win this race. Knows he has to.
And Austin Dillon, who was in the booth for yesterday's Xfinity race, won by Noah Gragson, who is in the field today. Joey Logano, the fastest qualified Ford, also with an onboard camera. As is Bubba Wallace, Kurt Busch, and Daniel Hemrick. Look at this crowd. Looks like Junior's racing here today as they come to the line for the first of 188 laps. Green flag.
See Christopher Bell on the outside. Looks like there were some team orders for him to take the lead, get down there in front of Martin Truex Jr. Now they can try to control the field here out front. Takes these cars a while to get up to speed as they're still going through the gears down the back straightaway. Going into 3, almost up to full song. Great sound. Daniel Suarez on the outside. They're getting a great push from Kurt Busch. Draws even with Christopher Bell coming off of turn 4. Organization on the bottom. Looks like that's going to push Christopher Bell back out front.
Two Toyotas working in tandem on point. Pole sitter Christopher Bell will lead the first lap from Daniel Suarez and Martin Truex. Little 3 wide mid-pack. The third lane begins to form. Ty Dillon in that 42 trying to bring Ryan Blaney in the 12 up to the outside. Landon Castle made a trip down pit road because of an inspection failure, so he'll be almost a lap down. They may catch him.
You see Kurt Busch get a little upset there from a push from William Byron. Back here 3 wide.
In the middle.
In the middle's right.
Oh, there
Whoa,
look at the
no,
22.
Really close.
Just trying to fit it in there. Can't get it in the inside there of Jones.
Yes, that was as close as he gets right there. Jones shut the door on him.
He did not want to get hung out there, Clint, early.
Well, it's also a difficult situation for Logano because he can't just bail out of the gas and give him that hole. You got people behind him stacked it up.
Yeah, you can lift off the throttle and still be getting pushed forward into that position.
He had to get down to that lane because the third lane did not form on the outside. Here's another look at it. On the right of your frame, the yellow car is Logano.
Look how close that is.
That's close enough it could spin that car out. Very, very close. Got him backed up a little bit, but you can tell, just like I said, all those cars stacked up behind him. Keselowski, Stenhouse, everybody else. He can't slow down.
You can hear the throttle.
Yeah.
He's
like, I don't want to. He knows that he came so close to turning Jones there. Very lucky.
3 laps complete this time by still double file, 20 rows deep.
And something we noticed in qualifying, the car on the outside leading, the Trackhouse entries have a little bit more skew than any of the rest of the field. That might make that car a little bit unstable getting physical, like contact pushes, tandem pushes. When I say skew, it means the rear of the car is kind of skewed to the left and it tracks crooked down the straightaway. So we try to set up a push on a car like that, it can be difficult. Makes it fast in a straight line, though. You're trying to get that spoiler out of the air by skewing that back end over.
Chase Elliott up 7 positions since the start, and so is Ricky Stenhouse. They're the biggest movers in these first 4 laps.
This is so frustrating, Clint. If you're back in that 5th, 6th, 7th row, there's nothing you can do. There's no other way. There's no other line to get into. You really just kind of sit there, park throttle, waiting on something to happen in front of you, waiting for that line to move forward.
Yeah, but so many things you said right there are so important. Park throttle. Why you park throttle? Saving that fuel. Giving that crew chief an extra option, an extra wrench in the toolbox to use when it comes time to pitting and things like that. The other thing that I've already seen, you know, you're gridlocked right now. Once these cars start breaking up, start wearing your tires, you're going to see who can push, blow through that bubble, and who can't.
A lot of chatter on the radios. Here's Joey Logano and team.
I haven't seen it work yet. 2 Chevys behind Brad, probably not the risk that we want to take right now.
Risk versus reward. You're going to hear that all day long.
That's interesting that he's asking the spotter whether he should run that top line. I never asked my spotter for information like that. I didn't want him telling me where to go, but it's pretty interesting. He trusts Coleman. Coleman knows what's happening beyond what Joey can see. And so Joey's telling him, hey, nobody's doing that. Don't go up there just yet, Joey.
No, patience. Patience is the name of the game. Ride a little bit. Let these tires wear out. Start separating the field. just a little bit.
Rough ride for Kevin Harvick, Regan. He's dropped 12 spots.
Mike, we wondered how these cars would drive here today at Talladega. The first driver to have major comments, Kevin Harvick. His car is bouncing very bad. Told the team we're in a little bit of trouble here. Had to get off the bottom. He was so worried it was going to bounce so much with the front end. It'd bounce up into the cars around him if he was on the bottom.
So that car is bouncing on the nose, and he's worried about it getting tight, bouncing, pogoing up the racetrack. We saw a lot of guys in qualifying, Clint, bouncing on the front of the cars. They find speed that way, but they got to dial some of that out for comfort.
For sure, and his concern is, in my opinion, very valid. If you're feeling that already, that bounce in that thing, that's exactly what's going to happen. As the tires start wearing, you get tight, that bounce is only going to amplify all those things.
And if Harvick drops a couple of more spots, his concern will become staying with the draft. Because at Daytona, we saw cars that were at the back of the draft lose touch with that pack pretty quickly.
Yeah, we were watching that all day long as these guys, once they do start to single file out and break up a little bit, seemed like you're right, Mike, those guys on the back dropping off.
You said single file out. When would that happen here?
Hopefully soon.
Soon as Dale Jr. leading the field decides to move up, that's exactly when it happened.
Vince.
Well, the spotters play such a key role here at Talladega. Frank Kimmel, the spotter for Daniel Suarez, suggesting that Suarez try to come down to the 19 and side draft him and slow down that line and make Bell a little bit more of a sitting duck out there by himself, and then they might have a chance on that outside line to get the lead. So keep an eye and see if Suarez comes down and side draft the 19 of Truex.
Mid-pack, that third row started to form on the outside, and now it is indeed a lane.
And it started exactly with the conversation we were listening to, Logano.
Yeah, apparently he's found some guys up there to want to go up there and try this with him. Brad Keselowski, a teammate, longtime teammate of his, somebody he believes he can trust. We know Brad can push, and he can push aggressively. Look at the 18 car. He's going to get up there and try to block that run. Now he's going to be the leader of that three wide on the outside. Now we're four wide. Reddick.
Oh, man out, Reddick. There's a quick hole, didn't take it.
Oh, that's so frustrating as a driver. Nobody behind you. You're looking in the mirror. Where's the help? Now we got a lap car throwing a wrench into the mix here. That's going to make things a little tight off the 4 or 2 here.
That is Landon Castle, who had to make that pass through down pit road as the pack just overwhelms him.
We were talking about patience. What was it, 2 laps ago? That's out the door. Big block by Suarez.
Suarez climbed the hill all the way to the wall to block that advancing high lane, and did it.
Sure did, and just in the nick of time. Very important. You didn't see that. That's exactly where Reddick went wrong. That run was coming. You got to be there for the block. Time is everything.
They got some great momentum here. What will the Toyotas up front do? They got to get up there and block that 99 car Suarez, or he'll be there outside soon.
Tyler Reddick went from 5th to 25th.
That's how quick things can happen. Again, that block, man, it's a split-second decision. You hear that spotter say it, you better react immediately.
A couple guys getting out of this draft. You see them right there. Denny Hamlin, a few other guys want no part of this right now this early in the race.
Denny Hamlin, and hey, his driver too, Bubba Wallace, going right with him. A lot of experience on those super speedways with Denny Hamlin. A lot of knowledge.
Tyler Reddick backing up as well. And you were worried about Kevin Harvick? He has climbed the ladder to 16th. From back there, about 35th.
I think that outside line is going to get some more momentum here through the tri-oval down the front straightaway. Kyle Busch out in front of that line on the outside, up beside his brother Kurt Busch. Daniel, though, controlling that bottom groove, controlling the line, controlling the race right now.
I don't think Joey Logano and Brad Keselowski want that 18 of Kyle Busch in front of them whatsoever. You know, after qualifying, Dale, we left that qualifying wondering, when are these Fords going to show up? Wasn't long.
Chevy 1-2. Toyota running 3rd through 6th, then a couple of Chevys, and Logano in 10th is the first Ford right down. 10 laps complete at the world's fastest speedway.